Point is, the end result is the same.
Duty calls.
I have searched the world over for you.
That is so cool.
You guys all just have this really tight bond.
Just call me the computer whisperer.
He seemed so nice and warm.
You don't want to come back to my place?
The bleach smell makes me nauseous.
I thought it was going to be a slow night.
It's fucking fantastic.
I love that sound.
Can we go now?
Welcome to Beer with Buffy. I'm Josh.
I'm Rex.
Well, Rex, this is going to be great. I got my hard coffee. I got my soft beer. I got my soft coffee and my hard beer. This is going to be a good episode.
You and your fucking beverages, it cracks me the fuck up.
Well, it's going to be a fun episode.
I think it will.
I think between the caffeine and the alcohol and my poor confused little body, it could be a very difficult episode. But fun. Fun.
What episode is it, Josh?
Well, today on Beer with Buffy, Rex, I'm so glad you asked. And the answer is Shadow. Is the title of today's episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
I was feeling like you were forgetting to do that part.
No, I wasn't forgetting.
Okay.
I was just waiting for you to remind me. Because that's how I live my life.
That's a shitty way to live, I'm sorry.
That's why I haven't gotten anywhere.
Oh, so you're blaming me for your position in life.
No, I'm blaming me for waiting for you.
Yeah, don't do that. Just don't do that.
I'm just sloughing off the blame.
God.
It's like saying, well, let me check with my wife first. I'm saying no, but I'm putting the blame on her. I'm just kidding. I'm not married.
Yeah, there's a certain amount of like, man, whose fault can I make me?
Like our mutual friend's post yesterday. God has allowed me to live one more day, and I'm about to make it all y'all motherfuckers' problems. Yay, problems.
Yes.
My God, if you guys have not tried Reed's ginger beer, fucking do it.
Yes.
You will thank yourself and us mostly.
I think it's available nationally in the US. I have no idea if it's available anywhere else, but no, Reed's ginger beer, best fucking ginger beer you've ever had, and let me tell you, you can't fucking tell the difference between the 0 calorie, no sugar, and the one with sugar canes.
This is seriously one of the few things on the planet that makes me proud to be an American, where at least I know I can drink sugar-free ginger beer. Oh yeah.
It is made in
Jamaica? I know there's a Jamaican version of it. I don't know what that means, though.
It's Jamaican-style ginger beer, is what it's known as. I don't think it's actually made in Jamaica. The Consumer Inquiry's label on the back says Norwalk, Connecticut.
I'm all kinds of not worried about it. By the way, everybody, we're talking about ginger beer here today. I'm sure we've mentioned it before, but it's only because the only alcoholic beverages we're consuming are repeats, Pabst Blue Ribbon Hard Coffee, Salted Caramel, and Perrin Black Ale. Also, both highly recommended and are not paying us to say these things.
That is correct.
But if they want to, they're more than welcome.
Yes, please.
Yeah, hop on that bandwagon, please.
I would really be happy if Reed's wanted to sponsor me to do anything.
Oh, right.
If they're like, hey, I'll sponsor you to do insert ridiculous thing here, I think I would do it.
Blow bubble gum while riding a penny pony.
Okay.
And assaulting a heavily armored kangaroo. Don't worry, the kangaroo's gonna win.
Oh, yeah, I know. Kangaroos are vicious. That's what my concern was, is like,
I thought you
I
were...
don't know that I could take a kangaroo, just particularly a heavily armored kangaroo.
I was worried you were going to call me out on animal cruelty for a moment.
Yes, animal cruelty.
Towards you.
Towards me.
Exactly.
Fucking kangaroo would beat my ass.
Hey, Rex, do you want to give us a list of our executive doodle-doos?
I would love to do that.
Well, fuck a doodle-doo!
So, yes, we have our executive producers. They are Garrett Sanders. Hey, you're new. Congratulations. Jay Sommer, Paul Dahlheimer, Christina, Lauren Jewell, Catherine Parkinson, Karen Moon, Chris V-Man, Catrick J. Furr, Hilly Hilfman, Scarlett Choi, Janella Lindauer, Simo Pinty, Meredith McCaslin, Rose Clark, C in quotes heaps, Andy Burgess, K. Fronome, Father Defenestrato, Methuen DeBurr, Kelly McAdams, Shuby Pathick, Jesse Rain, and Carrie Phillips. God damn, it's getting a bit unwieldy.
Unwieldy was exactly the word I was just about to suggest.
But hey, thank you so much. Without you, this show literally is not possible.
Literally. Damn it. I was going to say literally, fuck-a-doodle-doo, but not literally.
No, don't literally.
Literally fuck-a-doodle-doo.
Oh.
In the metaphorical sense of literally.
You know, that's not quite a hill I'll die on.
Not as much as irregardless.
No, nothing is... Irregardless is not a word, and that is a hill I'll die on.
I'm aware. That can be arranged, Rex. So speaking of doodle-doos, we have a very special little doodle-doo shout-out today to, guess who, Rex?
Oh, right.
Lauren Jewell and her good friend Tish Delano have a brand new spanking podcast. Well, I mean, it's been out for a little bit, called Camp Creep. And they gave us a shout-out, and I told them we'd give them a shout-out, so this is me giving them a shout-out. And I listened to one of their episodes, and what they do is they review... Currently, they're reviewing all the episodes of Tales from the Crypt with the Crypt Keeper and all that stuff. And it's super cool, because they totally ripped off our format, which we ripped off from the Greatest Generation podcast, because it's just a good format, and it works.
Yeah. What the fuck? You're trying to kidnap what I have rightfully stolen!
Bastards.
We have rightfully stolen this format. It is our format now. You can't take our format.
That is an accurate statement. I'm so glad you stated that. And the answer is neutral.
No, I have not gotten a chance to actually listen to the podcast yet, or their podcast yet.
Well, you're a bad person, Rex. And you should feel bad.
The reason why...
This is the worst shout out ever. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Lauren.
No, I took a look at the podcast. The problem is I don't remember a whole lot about Tales from the Crypt, and I decided I wanted to listen to an episode of theirs for an episode of Tales from the Crypt that I remember seeing. So I'm trying to remember episodes of Tales from the Crypt that I remember seeing. But since I wasn't particularly allowed to watch it when I was a kid, there's only like 3 that I can remember.
That makes a whole lot of sense, but let me go ahead and put your fears at rest. It doesn't really matter if you've seen Tales from the Crypt, because they're so good at explaining it that it's fun anyway. They've got great radio voices, which means they have great podcast voices. So if you want to listen to Camp Creep, head on over to Podbean. It's their host, just like us. And look up Camp Creep. You can email them at campcreeppodcast@gmail.com. Give them a listen. Give them a review on iTunes. Hey, speaking of reviews on iTunes, why don't you give us a review on iTunes since you're listening to us?
Yeah.
We'd appreciate that very much. Hey, we've currently got 46 reviews on iTunes as of this recording, and we're doing a giveaway drive.
Yeah.
Once we hit 50 iTunes reviews, we're probably going to give away a hoodie or something. If you have any better ideas for something for us to give away, we'd love to hear it. What do you want? And also, as long as it's something from our store, we can ship internationally now.
Yes, we can.
Bam!
Which was one of the number one reasons why I got us a new store.
Huzoodles.
And if you are interested in any of the items in that store, you can go to bearwithbuffy.com/shop.
Correct. Oh, by the way, Rex, we do have a voicemail from Crystal River Sam, but we're going to get to that next week.
Alrighty.
And I think you'll really enjoy the subject matter. I should have brought that up before we recorded. We're getting to you, Crystal River Sam, Madam of Many Monikers.
I was waiting for it. All right, then on to parental synopsis, I guess.
Joshua! What are you doing, Joshua? I told you never to come in my room when I'm playing with my snake!
Oh, fucking Christ.
So today on Buffy the Vampire Slayer, I hear you synopsisizing in there, Joshua. Are you using innuendos to get rid of me again, Joshua? No. Damn it, Joshua! Why won't you let me into your life? You never get emotional with me. It's always about Angel this and Angel that. This doesn't have anything to do with Angel. This is about my snake. Fine then. Damn it, Joshua. Tell me all about your Buffy Snek. I'm here to listen. Let it all out, Joshua. Alrighty, you'll just have to use the key to get in. Oh, wait, you don't know where it is, do you? Only I know where the key is. I'll just go ask your little brother Gordon then. He knows all your stupid secrets. What? Shit! Okay, fine, Mom. You want to know all about the snack? I'll give you the G-rated version if it'll make you go away. That's all I ever wanted, Joshua. Except for the me going away part. That's not gonna happen. Tell me something I don't know. So on today's episode of Buffy, entitled Shadow, Buffy finds out that Joyce has a shadow in her brain, hence the title, and has to have a biopsy. Riley takes care of Dawn and lying to her on Buffy's behalf, while Buffy runs off half-cocked to try and fuck up Glory after finding out that she waltzed into the magic shop and bought some stuff to go make a big evil snacky boy, and wants to use it to sniff out the key, which is Dawn, spoiler alert. Well, Snacky Boy does exactly that. He finds Dawn and he heads back to report her location to Glory, but Buffy and Giles are on top of that shit. Buffy chases it down and beats it to death, thereby foiling Glory's evil plan once again, and now she's got plenty of downtime to go deal with the emotional fuckery of her sickly mum, her innocent and fragile little sister of paranormal origins, and a boyfriend who is entirely far too insecure for his own good. The end.
Good synopsis.
Thank you.
Good job.
Fuck you, Rex. Nobody likes you.
You don't like me because I give him praise that you won't.
You don't talk to my friends that way, Mom. You don't have any friends, Joshua.
Yes, he does.
That's emotional abuse. Sorry, I'm cutting all this out. Whatever.
Ladies, gentlemen, spiny-headed looking creatures. As soon as the sun goes down, vampire. As soon as the sun goes down, vampire. Competition is a beautiful thing. Moves here.
Okay, so we open at the hospital where someone is lying to us.
Who could that be, Rex?
Joyce. And the show as a whole, because they say, oh, we're going to go do a CAT scan, and that's an MRI machine. They stick her in an MRI machine. As soon as I saw that, I'm like, that's not a CAT scan.
Right? So that's... where's the lie? The lie is that that's not an MRI machine?
Both Joyce and Buffy say CAT scan.
Yep.
Joyce, in the previous episode, said she was going to the hospital to get a CAT scan, and then it's not a CAT scan, it's an MRI.
Oh, an MRI is a CAT scan.
No.
All right, what's the fucking difference?
CAT scan is done with x-rays, and it's basically a series of pictures that circle around the head to do 3D imaging with x-rays. MRI is magnetic resonance imaging. So it uses a magnetic field to give 3D images. They're two completely different ways of doing 3D imaging in the brain.
Gotcha. MRIs are better though, right?
Yes.
That's what I thought.
MRIs are newer technology, I think.
Yeah, that sounds correct. But you know,
yeah, fun fact, CAT scan stands for computerized axial tomography.
I thought it was just because it's called a CT scan, and I didn't know what CT stands for, and CT, it's just easier to say CAT, I guess.
Well, so CT...
It's more fun anyway.
CT scan is computerized tomography. A CAT scan, is a specific type of CT scan.
Computerized axial tomography.
Yeah. It's a specific use of the CT machine.
Oh boy. Well, anyway, Joyce is getting an MRI.
Yes.
Irregardless even of whether or not she's using the proper machine for it. And she's in good hands. I think she's going to be okay.
Yeah, because doctors know what they're doing.
Yeah.
That's how this works.
And we don't know exactly what's going to happen several episodes from now at all.
Hey, you can always put your faith in the U.S.
You couldn't even say it with a straight face, guys.
I can't even...
I mean, he's got a pretty crooked face to begin with, but...
Oh, fuck you. I'm mostly symmetrical.
I try not to look. So, did you want to finish that sentence? Or
What was I saying?
I don't remember. So Dawn's wondering if it's named for being tested on cats or if the machine just looks like a cat. And I'm
Both,
like,
yes.
Yes, Dawn. Both. Both legit questions as well. Nevertheless, Buffy rears back to verbally smack the shit out of Dawn just before realizing how adorably sad and innocent she is, and instead comforts her with her now signature and ritualistic petting of the little sister that happens to be the key to the world not going all splody. Pet the ticking time bomb.
She's not a ticking time bomb.
Well, but she's the key to a ticking time bomb. So there's that. I
can't actually remember what she's a key to.
I don't know. What is she the key to? Something.
We'll find out.
Something that can be used for evil, not necessarily something that's implicitly evil.
Maybe a portal or something.
Something like
keys
that.
open doors and boxes, don't they?
I like
how keys
portals.
work.
Yeah, definitely. Cut to the magic box.
Yes, where we get to see the brand new half-page phone book ad that the magic box has. And hey, Josh, remember phone books?
It's so pretty. Yeah, it's in an actual phone book. Oh my god, I didn't think anything could date this more than a fucking CRT monitor, but we already named an episode after that. So, Tara expertly makes Giles completely self-conscious of his ad's copy wording, rightfully so.
It's a little clunky.
But hey, she's the expert at making people feel awkward and bad about themselves.
She's also the actress as an author, so yeah, she knows.
Yeah, there you go. Well, okay, she's not the expert at making other people feel bad, but she certainly knows how to make herself feel bad, and therefore I
mean, if you know how to make one person feel bad, you can probably make other people feel bad.
And yourself counts as one person.
Yeah.
So she didn't do it on purpose, though, but nobody ever tries to make her feel bad on purpose, except for her family, but they're out of the picture permanently, hopefully.
Yay!
Wow, I'm really running in circles on this one. I don't hate Tara. She's cool. Oh, God, don't kill me.
Anyway, enter the rest of the Scoobies. That is specifically Xander, Willow, and Anya. Xander is complaining a little bit about Riley.
Rather loudly about Riley blowing up the entire crypt of vampires without them and not even waiting until morning, and he expects Giles to back him up.
Quote of the day.
Bringing me to my very first quote of the day. Nomination. I'm going to start calling them quote of the day nominations. I feel like we should have done that a long time ago.
So Xander, after his big complaining, says to Giles, "Am I right, Giles?"
I'm almost certain you're not. But to be fair, I wasn't listening.
This is I've been kind of waiting for this line. This is a very iconic Giles to Xander line.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
He's got a couple that are up there, but this one I think takes the cake thus far.
Honestly, Xander's point is good.
It actually is.
Riley, that was dumb.
For a change, it kind of is. But Tara tells Anya about the ad, who gets all excited because she expects herself to be mentioned in the ad. Again being dashed down by a rather brutal Mr. Giles. I guess he's just lashing out because he was so upset by what Tara said about his copy.
A little bit.
Xander and Willow run the story past Giles again, and he's more on the side of, less work for you, what's the problem?
Which actually brings me to the second nomination of a quote of the day.
Oh?
Yes, from Anya. When Giles is like, "Oh, that seems like good. You didn't have to do anything." Anya replies with, "That's what I've been saying. I mean, I, for one, didn't want to start my day with a slaughter, which really goes to show how I've grown."
Yes. Yeah, I forgot about that. This episode's full of lovely quotes. So
anytime we get an episode where there's a lot of the Scoobies are kind of hanging out and doing research. Mm-hmm. They're like, "Oh, well, since there's not going to be much action going on in this episode, let's get really, really fucking clever with the wording."
It gets quippy fast.
Yeah.
And so then they're all recruited to continue helping research who and what in the hell is Buffy's mystery woman, whom we all know to be Glory, but the Scoobies do not as of yet.
That is correct.
That is correct indeed. And the answer is Yes. In perfect Scooby form, as we hear Xander pontificate on the likely whereabouts of glory, such as a rat-infested warehouse, or perhaps a sewer, or perhaps a condemned church, we get a classic Buffyverse segue to none of those things.
Yes. I don't know if this is supposed to be like a hotel suite or like some manor or something.
I felt exactly the same way, but if you recall the very end of the episode, she's in a fucking mansion.
Yeah,
It's practically a castle where she's looking out of the window. We finally see the exterior of the building she's staying in, because I thought it was like either a pretty decent apartment or a condo, or something, a hotel. I don't know.
Super fucking expensive, especially in goddamn California.
Yeah,
and super fucking nice. Not a rat-infested den.
Certainly not. Definitely a super normal and, if anything, posh-looking suite of sorts.
And then we meet Dreg.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I get what they're going with. Or I get what they're going for with this character and this dynamic between these two, but it got old 3 fucking lines in.
It really did.
I forgot that this is a thing in this season, and I'm like, oh god. Oh god.
It really reminded me of that character from Bands of Mourning, whose culture it is that they're supposed to worship this certain character, and he's constantly trying to make up these ridiculous honorifics.
Oh, yeah.
And that's exactly what this guy is doing, and I'm wondering if that's where Brandon Sanderson got that from. But, I mean, all good things are stolen, and also I trust that Brandon Sanderson is more original than that.
There's also no new ideas.
Yeah, that too.
But yeah.
So that's the game they're playing at. It's really not worth rehashing out all the shit that he says.
Yeah, the only thing that he says through all of this that I got a little bit of a chuckle was as he's talking and talking, he says, "Rip out my inadequate tongue." And then when Glory's like, "Here, give it here," he like walks over and sticks his tongue out.
Yeah.
Rather than, and he's like, "Oh no, you just wanted the scroll."
But she's not talking about his tongue. She's the scroll. Okay.
And it made me chuckle.
Yeah, it was chuckle worthy, definitely. But regardless,
fucking quit it. You're gonna give me a goddamn aneurysm.
Yes, I am. And then the podcast will be mine, all mine. It's my evil plan.
Half your jokes are done in a way that you specifically are trying to stress me out. Like, how are you going to do a podcast without that?
Yeah, I don't know anybody else that's as easy to stress out as you. Damn. Huh.
You have no choice but to keep me alive for this shit.
If you say so. I'll let you believe that for a while.
Fuck you.
All right, so anyway, this rando fucking demon, what's his name again?
Dreg.
He's working very hard on surgically implanting his entire being as far into Glory's digestive tract as she'll allow. And he's bringing her this spell scroll, and he's all, "Oh, your face is as sweet as a summer's day. Your voice is as golden as your face is flowery. Your bunghole is as glorious as the face of a baby bunny," you know, if you're into that sort of thing. By the way, the spell is old as fuck, and it'll only work for you if you have the right shit. She's like, "Oh, I'll have it all right." Stomps over to the fucking yellow pages in the goddamn phone book, rips out Giles's magic box ad from the yellow pages, laughs maniacally like a fucking cartoon villain. "I'll have them, yes."
Why does everyone in fucking TV shows and movies rip pages out of the goddamn phone book?
Well, it's her own phone book, to be fair. It's not.
But what if you need to use that later?
Well, then she's got it separately filed so she knows exactly where it is.
But what if there's something on like the backside that you're gonna want later?
Well, then she's fucked. I don't know.
Yeah.
They give you another phone book every fucking 6 months anyway.
They used to.
Do you know how many phone books I went through without ever using them? Most of them.
Well, yeah.
Pretty much everything past 95. Never used it.
I can't even remember the last time I looked up anything in a phone book.
I was a small child the last time I legitimately tried to look up somebody in a phone book. For residential purposes, and it worked. I found a number and a name and an address in this giant book that they left on our doorstep, and it was a person I knew. Isn't that weird? And they actually answered, and I didn't have to convince them that I wasn't a telemarketer.
Well, this guy wants to fight with weapons. I've got it covered from A to Z. From axe to the other act.
I'm fairly certain I said no interruptions.
Cut over to finish up the opening credits. We land at Buffy's house where Riley notices the latch on the front door is busted, or at least...
No, the door's just open.
Just ajar, okay.
Yeah, the door is ajar.
And he goes up to Buffy's room where he catches himself... Spike! It is Spike, it is Spike, it is Spike, it is Spike, Spike!
Specifically, a Spike being impressively creepy.
Yeah, a little creepier than usual, but it's forgivable because it's Spike.
No.
Everybody's favorite evil teddy bear. He can sniff my sweaters any day.
Nobody wants to sniff your sweaters.
Ouch.
You don't even want to sniff your sweaters.
I mean, you don't know that.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody wants to smell their own BO. I don't know.
Hey, whatever you're into.
You basically just called me undesirable, and I'm going to use the word irregardless so much more now.
Like you weren't going to anyway.
I wasn't going to use it ad nauseum. Irregardless, Rex. I must irregardlessly use it irregardlessly more now. Irregardless. So... So he's huffing her sweater. Oh my. And Riley inquires as to his presence. Spike plays the I'm rubber, you're glue card, buying him a precious few moments to think over how the fuck he's going to get out of this one. And Riley quips, looking for the girl who's going to rip your arms off when she finds out you were in her bedroom. And then he calls out Spike on being a horny sweater sniffer. Irregardless, Spike plays it off as, oh, it's just a predator thing, you know your enemy and all that. Quote of the day nomination number 2. Spike, in response to Riley, were you just sniffing her sweater, says, no. Well, yeah, all right, I did. It's a predator thing. Nothing wrong with that. It's just know your enemy. Scent, whet the appetite for a hunt. Sniffs it again. Ah, that's the stuff. Slayer musk. It's bitter and aggravating. Riley's like, all right, irregardless, fuck this shit. Drags him downstairs. You'll never fucking call me undesirable ever again. You think I can't keep this up? Fuck you. Riley drags him downstairs. Irregardless, Spike brings up a good point that Buffy wouldn't care if she knew that he was there because she never had his invitation into the house revoked.
Which, that's kind of a valid point.
Irregardless.
Would it help if I apologized?
No, it wouldn't. You made your bed, boss.
God damn it.
I'm not even mad anymore.
Anyway, he makes a very good point. Like, why? Fuck you. My only concern is you're going to derail me almost every fucking time.
No.
Spike makes a fairly valid point that they've never revoked his invite into the house, and why is that? And he's basically needling at Riley this whole fucking scene about, like,
outright taunting him.
And, he mentions how he spent last evening hanging out with Buffy, getting drinks, having a good old time.
And so Riley grasps at straws here because Spike's like, now why do you think she wouldn't do that? And he's like, well, because you're harmless. And now Spike just has him by the balls.
Yeah.
Mr. who just lost their superpowers and is harmless. Oh, yeah. The argument runs 2 ways down the street, boss. And
don't insult people with what you are, in fact, insecure about.
So Spike literally, okay, figuratively, but literally, obviously that's a whole different script that you can find over at www.beerwithbuffy.com/slashers. Okay, I'm just kidding. Fuck, now I have to do that, don't I?
Yeah, probably.
Shit. So, all right, Spike taunts Riley and pokes him right in his biggest insecurity, the one where he knows Buffy doesn't love him near as much as he loves her, or suspects anyway, and that's just as bad. Insecurity can fuck a lot of things up, except Spike puts words to it.
Yeah.
He calls Riley not dark enough. To Riley's credit, he grabs Spike and holds him outside in the sunlight. To Spike's credit, he keeps squeezing on Riley's insecurity sack ruthlessly, even though
it fucking works.
Yeah, even though Riley could easily kill him right here and right now, but Riley, wanting Spike's information, doesn't do that because Spike's not a fucking idiot,
Right?
I mean, he's ballsy. He's ready to die at any given point in time.
But I don't like. Okay. I understand that they have plot and actor contracts and all that shit. And they're like, okay, we're transitioning from having Riley on the show to having Spike on the show as the love interest. I get all that. I get all the background, behind the scenes reasons why this is. However, why the fuck hasn't anyone killed Spike yet? It's kind of at the point where it's getting unbelievable to me that he's not fucking, like, right here, Riley should fucking kill Spike.
Absolutely.
It's the only him not killing Spike does not make any fucking sense for the character or how his headspace is right now.
Yeah. His protectiveness of Buffy, his own insecurity, the fact that Spike is a vampire at all, irregardless of having a chip in his head.
Also, the fact that later in the episode, Riley kills another vampire in a fucked up way. It's like, it just tracks that he would kill Spike right here.
Absolutely. I mean, this reminds me so much of The Walking Dead, because I spent a solid 2 seasons going, why the fuck haven't they killed Negan? They had ample opportunity before he took all of their guns.
Yep.
The moment where he knocked on the door and said, little pig, let me in, which, by the way, gave me a real funny boner. Because Jeffrey Dean Morgan is a sexy motherfucker.
I just imagine you watching that, and it happens, and you look down, and you're like, well, that's just weird.
Hey. You boys behave yourself. Now. But at that moment right there, sorry, this is a Walking Dead tangent, but it's relevant, I swear. He could have just shot Negan right through that fucking door, and they had a way better chance of winning that war right there and then with their weapons than at any point in the plot after that. My whole point is, the answer is, there's nothing in the plot where you're ever going to find legitimate reason that they didn't kill this character, but they're profitable. They're popular, and they just weren't gonna fucking do it. And I know you already said you understand that. Just thought I'd reinforce it.
Right. And I guess my whole point of bringing this up is, dear writers, fucking quit it. Like, if you're going to have characters like this that you're like, okay, we cannot kill this character off, we have to keep him here, don't fucking put scenes like this in that the only fucking course of action that makes sense is that character being killed off.
Irregardless. They don't have to. They're making so much fucking money off of it, they can get away with it.
I know,
and that kind of thing is always going to make this shit happen again and again and again and again. But I agree with your sentiment. Hey, writers, shame on you for not holding up your integrity in moments like this.
Yeah,
and
you
giving
can write
us
a better story.
Some sort of legitimate reason to believe that this character wouldn't kill this other character.
Really, all it is, I think what would have fixed this scene is Riley didn't kick the blanket out. Let's say Spike lives, fine. He figures out some way to not burst into flames once he's thrown out the fucking porch.
He was wearing his coat. He'd have been fine.
Yeah, I would have been fine with it.
Well, you know what? Here, maybe this will make you feel better. Irregardless.
No, Josh, that doesn't make me feel better.
That didn't help?
No.
That's so weird.
Fucking word is like nails on a goddamn chalkboard.
Gosh,
man.
a doodle do.
Gosh, a doodle do.
Goddamn right.
Gosh,
No, but really, maybe this will make you feel better.
Gosh, a doodle do reads like a fucking Christian kid swearing when he can't.
Gosh, a doodle do. I will wash your mouth out with soap, you little fucker. Oops.
Do as I say, not as I do.
Anyway, no, I think this is a sign of Riley's integrity. As much as he hates Spike and as bad of a headspace as he is in, he knows that Spike is right, and he's more worried about Buffy and why she didn't tell him this shit that Spike knows and he doesn't. And he's more likely to get in more trouble if Spike is right than otherwise.
I still think it would have been a little bit on the funny side if he just dusted Spike, and then when Buffy's like, Spike hasn't been around in forever. He's not in his lair anymore. Where did he go? And Riley's just like, I have no fucking clue. That's weird. He just vanished.
No, I would love it if Riley started living a double life where he has this blonde wig and a leather coat. And she can't tell the difference. Even though he's like over half a foot taller than Spike.
He's not that much taller. He's like 4 or 5 inches.
Feels like the Jolly Green Giant next to fucking James Marsters. My God.
Who, by the way, is about my height. So the height difference between Riley and James Marsters is our height
Probably
difference.
our height difference. Yeah, so that's fun.
I'm not in your room. I'm in the hallway. The hallway doesn't belong to you. Mom, I can stand in the hallway, right? My friend Sharon's older brother knows a girl who died because she choked on her boyfriend's tongue.
So yeah, we've dwelled on that enough. Irregardless.
Back to the hospital. Riley goes to see Buffy, as we forgot to mention that Spike told Riley that Buffy was at the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
Buffy's about to enter the exam room or whatnot to get the news from her mom about what the fuck's going on. There's a nice little moment here where Riley's he wants to comfort her, and that makes sense. He should want to comfort her, but she doesn't have a whole lot of time to be comforted. She's got to fucking wear the pants in the family.
She's an important woman. She's got shit to do.
She's the only one holding all this shit together.
Yeah, she tries to make an excuse for why she didn't tell him what's going on, but he forgives her before she even finishes her sentence, and that's nice and everything, but it feels a little dismissive.
Yeah.
So she goes in to talk to Joyce, and the doctor runs off to check on the availability of the operating room because, drumroll, Joyce has a shadow in her brain. It's a brain shadow. Ta-da! They said it. They said the title of the episode, Rex.
Yay!
What do we have for her?
Nothing.
Oh, well, irregardless, it's actually potentially a huge problem, but the doctors are telling her it's too early to worry. Got to do a biopsy first.
Yeah, too early to be concerned. Like, I understand why doctors say that, but don't they get that doesn't fucking help shit?
Yeah.
You have a thing in your brain that's not supposed to be there, but we're not going to worry about it.
And you
Let's
had enough symptoms to convince us rock-headed piece of shits to actually check. But don't worry.
Yeah.
Nothing to worry about.
You'll be fine. Nothing to be concerned about. Let's go stab you in the brain. You'll be fine.
We do this all the time. Sometimes.
We do this all the time sometimes.
When it's prudent.
When we feel we need to, and when your insurance company feels we need to.
Yeah.
And only when your insurance company feels we need to do we do it. If we feel we need to, but your insurance company doesn't agree with us, we can't do shit, and you're just going to die.
Yeah, money talks, really.
Yeah. You live in California, and you own your own house in California, so you probably have enough money to actually get this medical care.
Mm-hmm.
So, you're good. We'll go ahead and stab you in the brain. The insurance company will pay for it.
We got this. We got you. Girl, don't you even sweat.
You're rich and white enough.
Yeah. No, you just made me really sad, though. It's all right.
Sorry.
So, cut to the magic box, where they're all like, you know what? Fuck all this reading, says Tara. Maybe this bitch is so old that she predates language. Xander's like, woot woot. Well, I'm done with all this reading.
Yeah, fuck that.
Fuck that.
I love that everyone jumps on this train as fast as fucking possible.
Choo,
like,
choo.
since we can't find anything in the books about this person that we have the vaguest idea of what they fucking look like and have no clue whatsoever any tangible information about this person, let's assume that she predates anything that we could possibly
Even
know.
Giles is like, oh dear, I hadn't thought of that. I do suppose we're completely fucked, aren't we? She could be anyone, anywhere. And then Glory, from right behind Giles, is like, hey, fuckers.
Sell me this shit.
I need to buy some worthless shit from you pathetic mortals. I mean... Thank you. Oh my god, I'm way too pretty to not be getting worshipped right now. And you are seriously putting a delay on that, so chop chop, Limey. I mean, I like limes. Irregardless, I have a quote of the day. Nomination. I'm wearing them down, guys.
Which fucking quote?
Giles says she could be anywhere, but if she is as powerful as Buffy says, I imagine it won't be long before she makes herself known.
Yeah.
Yeah, not a completely prolific quote of the day. I guess I just like Giles. I'm not sure why I marked that one down. So,
Well, it is Giles.
yeah. So he sells her a couple of things with a big old goofy smile on his face. And she
Because
fucks off.
capitalism.
Because capitalism. And she fucks off. And
Yes.
everybody's happy.
Kinda, mostly. Hey, they don't need to read anymore, so that's something to be happy
Yeah,
about.
they've got so much extra free time now.
Yeah. Now they have time to worry.
So, cut back over to the hospital.
Yes, where the doctor comes out to inform Buffy of Joyce's condition and the situation, and then
Just to see what condition my
proceeds
condition
to
was in.
completely fucking violate the hell out of HIPAA.
Oh, well, I bet you $50 Buffy has power of attorney. Medical power of attorney.
Maybe.
Because I have medical power of attorney over my mom because she set that up in her will.
Well, that isn't the part that's violating HIPAA. The part that's violating HIPAA is, hey, I'm going to talk at a normal conversation volume in a quiet waiting room where everyone else within earshot can hear me tell you all about your mother's diagnosis.
Yeah, that's a film thing. They definitely should have gone into a private room for that.
Fucking irritates me. But yeah,
Film.
so Joyce has low-grade glioma.
Long story short, it's a tumor.
Yes.
It's not a tumor. Actually,
It actually,
it is a tumor.
it very much is a tumor.
It's not a tumor.
Specifically, it is a tumor in the glia cells, which are the cells that insulate and nourish your neurons.
Oh dear.
Yes.
Oh, that's the worst.
It's not good.
That is a bad tumor. It's probably not the worst, but it's not good.
Now, I could not find any information on how survivable it actually is back then and 21 years ago.
But today,
But today, you pretty much have like a 75% survival rate.
oh well, that's better than 1/3,
Yes.
which is what he said, and
Yeah.
it was currently in a state of a rapidly changing situation on their
Yeah.
amount of research. Because even in the episode, he says if you'd been diagnosed with this even a year ago, it
Yeah,
basically would have been a death sentence.
And that's kind of the case with a mass majority of cancers in the early 2000s. The state of knowledge revolving around cancer was rapidly changing at that time. And it still is changing, but early 2000s was a lot of fucking medical research about cancer going on.
Either way, a 1/3 survival rate, or as he puts it, 1/3 of the people diagnosed with this are just fine. So we don't know if the other 2/3 die or if they just have horrible, weird breakdowns mentally or what.
And I couldn't find the actual percentages on this, but there's apparently several grades of this, because the actual diagnosis is oligodendroglioma, and apparently there's several grades of this, and one grade you have like a 3-year chance, like you'll have like 3 years but another grade you could have like another 12 years or more. So there's like different levels.
As a prognosis,
Yeah.
an expected
Yeah,
survival
so-
time. Okay.
The idea that the doctor paints here is that there's still a lot of information they don't know. They don't even know if it's operable at all.
So, Buffy freaks out and fucks off because she's just not ready to sit and have this whole technical conversation answering questions about Joyce's cell phone usage and proximity to
Yeah.
power lines. And luckily,
She mentally checks the fuck out of that conversation, and the doctor, being a doctor,
yeah.
does not realize that, oh, maybe she doesn't want to have this conversation now.
So happy, sensitive Ben, the intern, steps in and it's like, hey, Doc, you're wanted, somewhere else. Fuck off.
Hey, you there, fuck off.
And when you get there, continue fucking off, but, be a doctor while you're doing it.
Yes.
He is a good doctor. He's just a bit thick.
Yeah.
So Buffy takes Ben's advice and fucks off to go take a break, hard air quotes, but she's really looking for a healing spell. And she puts Riley on dawn duty to, take her to school, tell her to meet up at the magic shop later. Oh, also in classic Buffyverse form, she of course tells Riley to lie to Dawn and tell her that they don't know anything about Joyce yet.
I do also want to mention that after Ben leaves the scene, Buffy walks over to Riley. Riley hugs her. She goes, "Oh, it's bad." And Riley's like, "I know." And immediately when he said that, I'm like, "Of course you know, Riley. The doctor was talking loud enough for you to hear."
Exactly. Because Riley is very definitely not Joyce's power of attorney.
No, and he was all of 10 feet away.
Yeah. Well, I'm surprised that he wasn't sitting there for the conversation. Anyway,
Right.
Neither here nor there. Irregardless, one might say. Oh, God. I'm killing him slowly, everybody.
Anyway, yeah, Buffy wants to go find a healing spell, and he tells Riley to take Dawn to school because, when your little sister, who's 15, has been awake all night in a hospital waiting room, the first thing she needs to do is go to fucking school.
To Riley's credit, skipping a scene here, he doesn't take her to school. So he's a very sensitive
He doesn't
man.
take her directly to school.
I'm not sure that any school happened in there at all, but we can discuss that at a later date.
There's a great deal of myth about Dracula. I imagine the trick to defeating him lies in separating the fact from the fiction. What kind of an unholy creature fancies cheap, tasteless statuary?
Cut over to the magic box,
Where Anya is going through the receipts of the day.
and she's freaking out.
Freaking the fuck out, man!
Freaking out here, guys! Like you guys! Giles totally sold something bogus! And it wasn't my sandwich, thank God. Like, Scoob, you want some sandwich?
You haven't done this.
Thank you, Shane.
You haven't done the Shaggy impression.
It's been a minute. I know. I missed it.
But yeah, when she's freaking out and everyone walks over and Anya accuses Giles of being stupid or something, and Giles
Quote of the day.
nomination for a quote of the day here. Giles replies with, "Allow me to answer that question with a firing."
That's right up there with the first one.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that was glorious. It was glorificus, one might even say. Oh dear, I slay me. Oh, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Oh, vampire.
But Anya is not deterred by, the chances of losing her job because she knows she is right, and she quickly lays it out for Giles that maybe you fucked up, boy.
And she's got Xander there to mediate.
Yeah.
Like he's her 5-year-old that he has to run around apologizing for.
I like that his response to her freaking out is essentially that they had a specific conversation about the things that she cannot say to Giles.
And this particularly falls under category 5. I want to know. I want to hear this whole conversation.
Yes, I want to know the whole list.
Jesus.
What are the
crackers.
things that she can't say to Giles?
Yeah, Xander mediates the situation like the grizzled veteran that he is, being a man dating a woman with even less social skills than his own. But
Which is impressive, honestly.
it is.
Like, Those two are so socially inept. It's kind of amazing that they ever started dating in the first place.
Well, I mean, from this perspective, yes. And then you remember it was basically just her saying, I don't understand why we can't just fuck. And
him saying, yes, please.
I don't understand how they didn't end up getting married the next day in Vegas.
Well, they were teenagers.
Yeah, that's true.
I think that's the only reason they're not married yet.
They're also not that far from Vegas. Like they could,
they're really
they could
not.
take a bus there in less than a day.
Oh, yeah.
But Anya found that the objects sold were a Cool's amulet and a Sobikian bloodstone. And Giles is like, oh, not to worry. Those were used by ancient Egyptian cults that were into dark magic, and the transmogrification spells were lost thousands of years ago, and that young woman would have had enormous power. Oh, God, that was glory, and I've soiled myself. Yeah.
You know, he's probably the sort that keeps, like, several changes of clothes in the back, just for such occasions.
I could imagine so. Yeah. I mean, I keep an extra pair of underwear in my backpack at all times.
Well, you know, I've always said never trust an adult who can't admit that they have at least once in their adult life shat their pants.
Moving along. We're not going to talk about that at all today. Cut to a carousel.
Yes, where Riley, in fact, did not take Dawn to school. He took her to the park for ice cream.
Yeah, at least he didn't take her to school yet. I think he does after this.
Yes.
But in the meantime, he needed to take her to the most obvious and sad-ass goddamn place he could possibly find.
I'm a little disturbed that there's a lot of children around for being a morning on a school day.
Were there?
Yeah.
I didn't notice any other people around. I just noticed
there
that
were like
there was
people on the carousel.
I didn't see anybody on the carousel. It looked totally empty to me. But
maybe I was imagining it.
Maybe you were. I'd have to go back and rewatch because I don't recall seeing any other people in that scene.
So here's the fun of this scene. Dawn obviously is sad, and Riley's trying to cheer her up, and he's doing a pretty decent job. But she actually mentions that she knows this carousel because when they first moved to Sunnydale, she had her 10th birthday here. And Joyce rented the carousel for like a full hour, but they had just moved to Sunnydale, so Dawn didn't have any friends, and it was just them riding the carousel.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the fun tidbit. Do you know when Dawn's, quote, birthday is?
No.
Or what she believes her birthday is?
No.
It's in March.
Okay.
The first episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer aired March 10th. This is season 5. She's 15.
Yeah.
Her 16th birthday is coming up later this season.
Okay.
But they specifically did the math so that they were living in Sunnydale for like 2 weeks when Dawn had her first birthday.
Well, when Dawn had her 10th birthday anyway.
I meant her first birthday in Sunnydale.
Right. So it makes perfect sense that she wouldn't have made any friends yet. I see.
But they actually like...
That's good math.
Yeah.
It works. Math works, motherfuckers. Fuck-a-doodle-doo. So regardless of that, one might even say regardless of that.
One might say ear beat you with a stick.
In the ear. Yes. So besides all that being super awkward, maybe since the spell the monks did had to make up all of these memories that they're having about this girl that didn't actually exist at these times, they were just being super lazy and didn't want to make up a bunch of relationship stories about other random people.
They're like, you know, we only have like 24 people that we can give memories to.
Right.
So I'm sorry to say, Dawn, but you're going to have been a very lonely child.
Yes, exactly. Because what if she tries to go back? Like, how far can this spell actually reach?
Yeah.
Can it? You interact with so many people throughout your life. Can it affect an indefinite amount of people? Or it seems like it would really only be able to affect this bubble of people, you know?
It would fascinate me if they found out that there was no record of Dawn having been in school before Sunnydale, even. Like, they only had a finite, like, distance that they could even write.
Right. Or they could walk into the grocery store and the spell would have missed a certain teller that's working there, and they'd be like, you didn't have a daughter last month.
Right?
Where'd you get an extra daughter?
Like, did they have to individually account for every person they were implanting memories into?
I would think so.
That would be a fascinating thing to explore.
Yeah, because I'm just thinking the amount of magic that it would take and the amount of people that would need to be affected to properly instill that kind of backstory.
What if instead of it being a spell that implanted chosen memories, they basically set it up so that they're like, okay, the spell's entire purpose is to just make the key into a person that is the most important person to Buffy that she could possibly be. So here's my fucking theory. If the spell is designed to make Dawn the most important person to Buffy, so that Buffy feels the need to protect Dawn for fucking everything, the spell gives Joyce cancer. Because if Joyce has cancer, your little sister is even more important to you.
Yep, they did it on purpose. Might as well be canon. Definitely.
That is a cruel fucking twist.
Yeah.
And I like it, and that lives in my head. That's my headcanon for the show from now on. The fucking monks who created Dawn killed Joyce!
Those monks are dicks.
Yeah.
But the greater good.
The greater good.
So, anyway, Dawn isn't stupid. She can tell something's wrong.
Oh, yeah.
And Riley tries to make her feel better by telling her, oh, Summer's women are tough. Don't worry. Everything's gonna be just fine.
I fucking hate it when anybody ever fucking gives this placating, oh, it's gonna be fine. No, you don't fucking know that.
Yeah,
you can't know that.
You can't know that. But, it's what people do. It's instilled into our culture. So
it's wrong, though. And it should be something we eject from our culture.
I partially agree. So Dawn tries to return the favor by telling Riley how much less Buffy cries with him than she did with Angel.
Yeah,
and how much less she gets worked up over him in general compared to Angel.
It doesn't quite hit how Dawn meant it to.
Yeah, not so much. It's definitely another one of those classic Dawn moments where she has no idea how the ramifications of what she's saying could land poorly, and yet there it goes.
Because obviously Riley reads this as Buffy's not nearly invested in me the way that she was with Angel.
Absolutely. And I really don't see any reason why he couldn't take it exactly the way Dawn meant it, in that he's emotionally more healthy for her.
Oh, no, like, she's right. Dawn is completely right. Riley is much better for Buffy.
With some exceptions, of course.
And at this stage, I'm of the mind that all the fucking problems in the Buffy-Riley relationship are all on Riley.
Oh, yeah.
Buffy cares greatly about him, but for fuck's sake, look what's going on in her life right now.
He's letting his toxic masculinity and insecurity completely get in the way of seeing his relationship with her properly.
Yeah.
And I think he is kind of expecting things to be a little too serious, a little too fast. I don't know.
I have lots to say on this topic at the end of the episode.
Sure,
we'll
okay.
get there.
So she tacks on that he's been really good for her, but that's just not good enough for old Riley Flynn. No siree, Borb.
Feel free to tell me if this next part gets a little too personal, because I'm told I have boundary issues. But I'm hurt. I am great, and I am beautiful, and I walk into a room, all eyes turn to me, because my name is a holy name, and you will listen.
Cut back to the magic shop.
Yes, where Buffy is asking the Scoobs if there is some mystical cure that they can have for Joyce. And, because magic solves all problems. That's what the show has taught us, right?
Absolutely. Well, some, if not, for the amount of extra problems that it creates. But long story short, Buffy gets double bad news.
Yeah.
A, if you mix medicine and magic, you're gonna have a bad time, okay?
Yeah.
And B, Glory was here.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
And you're gonna have a bad time.
Okay. Either way, today's a bad day.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, your mom got cancer, magic can't help, and, Glory knows where we are.
Current arch nemesis is hunting you like a dog.
Yeah.
Or at the very least, patronizing your business.
But my favorite part, though, is the way everyone tees Anya up for this, because they're like, well, if you mix magic and healing, it's gonna make things worse. And Anya's like, yeah, like Giles made everything worse today. Look what Giles did. He's a dumbass.
Yeah, and they do this bit where they're all like, ha ha ha, she's not talking about anything. She's talking about how clumsy she was. Remember that thing that you broke? That's the thing that happened today, right? And what really tips off Buffy is when Anya catches on. That's how thick it was. That Anya caught on to something nonverbal.
Yeah.
Something subtextual.
Also, I'll give Anya credit. She lies better than I can. She can't lie for shit.
No.
Buffy sees right through that. Almost as if there's nothing there to obfuscate.
Nothing there whatsoever. And so Buffy freaks out. Oh no, it must have been all violent and stuff if Glory was here. Giles is like, not really. It's fine. Everything's fine. Well, then what dastardly foul deeds did she commit to steal away with such foul magics, and the likes of which no doubt were heavily guarded and strongly protected by this crack team of expert occultists? Yes, well, you see, she may have walked in, brought them to the counter, and I rang her up like a proper customer, you see. It was evil! Positively evil! I may never recover! But luckily, Anya quickly changes the subject at Tara's prompting. Again.
Yes. I do have one quote nomination here. Giles says, almost kind of under his breath at the very tail end of this, he's like, well, if it's any consolation, I may have overcharged her.
It made me feel a little better.
Yeah.
That bitch is rich. You should try to charge her at least twice. At least
if you're gonna be a capitalist, at least overcharge the evil people.
Seriously, 400% markup minimum.
Yeah.
Minimum. So Anya's like, but guess what? This ancient Egyptian cult called the Sobekites were reptile worshippers. And their high priest, Cool, forged an amulet with a transmography crystal. To which Giles responds something along the lines of, obviously, I'm paraphrasing here, and the markings on the bloodstone I sold her were of a cobra. So,
yes.
Long story short, she's going to make a cobra monster.
Yep.
Which is, what kind of reptile, Rex? I didn't bother to look it up. I'm bad with the wiki, you see. I need to hear. Is it? I think you mispronounced it, Rex. I need to hear it again.
I don't think I mispronounced shit. It's fucking snake.
It's little louder. I can't.
It's a fucking snake.
It's a snake.
God damn it. Fuck you.
Oh my god, it's such a crazy random happenstance. Why is there a snake in this episode, Rex? She's gonna make a snake monster.
By the way, it is a snake because it was originally supposed to be an amorphous blob sort of monster, and then some fucking production asshole was like, hey guys, how about we do a big snake?
Yeah, because they haven't done that before.
To be fair, it is a better snake, or it is a better looking snake monster than Snake Boy was.
Yeah, Snake Boy. This was basically their shot at being forgiven for Snake Boy.
Yes.
They're like, can we do it right, guys, now that we have a better budget?
Yeah.
And so Buffy's like, okay, I'm going to go misplace some aggression and try to kill her and the stupid snake. And Giles is like, wait, no, don't. And there she goes.
What even started the whole snake bit? I don't remember.
I don't remember either.
I don't even know how long it's been going on
Something
anymore.
about people sneaking around. I'm pretty sure it started in the episode Sneakity Snacks.
Well, I'm
This was
assuming.
about 6 episodes ago-ish.
God damn.
And I had no idea this episode was coming.
I know. Anyway, cut to the zoo, where Glory and Dreg are starting the ritual.
Her minion of the week and Glory smash into the Cobra exhibit. I'm sorry, I forgot what kind of animal is a cobra. I can't remember. I'm really bad at this. I'm a little drunk. I'm a little inebriated on my alcoholic yoo-hoo
It's
here.
a limbless reptile.
A limbless reptile. God, I feel like there's a word for that.
There might be. I'm not sure what it is. Let's continue.
Oh, that's right. It's a snake! And Glory's all, oh my god, snake! I finally get to have a snake demon monster pet husband, and it's gonna be fucking snaky and amazing. And you can't stop me, Dreg. Try to stop me, Dreg. I
Dreg
will
isn't
fucking
trying to
end
stop
you.
her. Dreg's not trying to stop her. He's helping.
Oh, right. He's probably nearly all the way through her upper intestine at this point.
Oh, yeah.
Enter Buffy, who tries to stop her.
How the fuck did Buffy figure out where they were?
Where are you going to find a cobra in the city?
I guess.
A fucking zoo. They're not in the wild there, I don't think.
I don't think so.
I think that was honestly one of the better random leaps of logic that they've made.
I mean, it's definitely not nearly as bad as a lot of leaps of logic that they've had.
Exactly. We've had way worse, and I was able to buy this one.
Like the leap of logic of, oh, she's older than language itself was much worse than this.
Okay. I haggled it down to $1.95, but I still bought it. I was like, $20, guys. Try again. I know what you pay for these wholesale.
So you can haggle at the Plot Hole Emporium?
You goddamn right you can.
Good to know.
It's rude if you don't.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
So Buffy tries to stop Glory.
And Glory kicks her ass.
Glory's like, I don't think you heard my paraphrasing narrator well enough just now, but I'm pretty sure he made me say, you can't stop me. and while they're fighting, she's like, you there, ugly one. Not you, Slayer, the other ugly one. Keep chanting while I whip this bitch into the snack cage. So Dreg makes his big ol' adorable snake monster, and Glory just loves it. Absolutely in love with it because it is an adorable snake. And it's also life-size. It's a very fuckable snake.
It's bigger than life-size, because life-size is like a normal-size snake.
Sure.
Yeah, so Buffy, as soon as the snake becomes a big giant snake monster, Buffy's like, you know what? Fuck this. Bye. And she just runs.
Yeah, well, after getting the shit kicked out of her and being launched into a former snack cage, she nopes the fuck out of there. And Glory just falls in love with her snaky boy. She's like, Snake, you owe me because I gave you life and shit. So go be a good little sneaky snake and find the key for me and stuff.
Yeah, pretty much.
And the snake's like, I'm a snake.
So in this episode,
I'm a snake, right?
In this episode, we get a lot of CGI of the snake. And for being TV...
You're mispronouncing my name, Rex. Snake.
I didn't even fucking say that word.
Snake. You said snake. But you said it the mean way. It doesn't sound right when you say it, Rex.
I don't care.
It sounds racist.
The giant fucking cobra monster.
Snake.
So we get a good amount of CGI with it. I'm really trying hard not to be derailed here.
Go on. Irregardless, Rex.
We get a good amount of CGI of the monster.
I can't choose a beverage. Okay, that one's empty. That made it easier.
We get a lot of good CGI of the monster, or rather, we get a lot of CGI, and it is good CGI. Particularly good for TV in 2000.
Strangely, I felt like the CG was better than the practical creature effects on this particular episode.
The practical effects were slightly hit and miss, but the costume in still was phenomenal.
When it moved, though.
When it moved,
it was like watching the Muppets.
Yeah. But they had the eye blink thing, and that was pretty good.
That was
I
neat.
liked that.
I liked that. The tongue
Yeah,
just made me think of how they did it, and there was definitely somebody with a little ball pump somewhere down the line, squeezing it, making that tongue go.
The biggest problem I had with the look of the puppet is the mouth was open the whole fucking time.
The whole time.
And because snakes don't fucking run around with their mouth open. They have a specific hole that their tongue can go out so they don't have to open their mouth. And I think if they had just made it where the mouth wasn't fucking open, I think it would have looked way fucking better.
Yeah. Maybe it was panting. Maybe it was warm. You know, it takes
Snakes
a lot.
Don't pant.
Takes a lot of energy. Alligators vent their heat through their mouths.
Snakes don't.
That's why they sit there with their being mean to snakes. So
anyway, I think they spent good money on a costume and some CGI. I like for Monster of the Week. I thought it was pretty fucking good.
Halfway decent. So we're back at the magic shop.
Yes.
Riley comes in and gets all pissy that they, air quotes, let Buffy run off all half-cocked looking for psycho-murdery god ladies and Snek demons while completely missing the irony of the situation.
Yeah.
Which Xander is more than happy to illustrate for him by slapping him in the face with Riley's own gigantic dick that he used to wipe out a whole nest of vampires by himself. I'm sorry, vampires. Which, strangely, no one has thanked him for yet. I mean, how hard is it to say...
Hold on. Did you say Xander slapped Riley with Riley's dick?
That's right. He said, Riley, I couldn't help but notice that your gigantic dick is just hanging out here, and it looks like you could use some assistance in hitting yourself. Quit hitting yourself. Quit hitting yourself.
This paints a questionable picture.
That's right. And if you'd like to see that picture, head on over to www.beerwithbuffy.com/slashers. Nothing will actually be there, but go there. That's our actual domain. So
stop hitting yourself. Stop hitting yourself.
Quit hitting yourself. Quit. Why hasn't anybody thanked Riley for taking out this whole nest of vampires yet? I mean, how hard is it to say, excuse me, Riley, you do in fact have the largest balls in the room. We should
He does.
We should really use them to go bowling sometime. And also, you should get that checked out.
Yeah.
But we know that you won't.
Right? He's definitely averse to doctors.
Can't blame him.
No, can't blame him at all. I mean, he's ex-military though. Like he has a pension and
right.
Like,
well, he has a history. We've been there. No need to revisit that. But anyway, all that being said, Xander and Riley's sword fight falls a little how do you say, limp? Let's go with flaccid. I didn't want it to sound too sexy. So when Xander realizes that Riley is a little verklempt and out of sorts,
yeah,
he stops being so hard on him. That I can't. The joke makes itself, and Riley fucks off. He's like, if Buffy or anybody needs me, and he trails off because he realizes nobody fucking cares.
Right.
Yeah, she doesn't. She needs Spike, motherfucker. She needs a bad boy. She needs somebody a little darker. He's got a little too much cream in his coffee, if you know what I mean.
I will always be here for you. And you've got Mr. Giles and your friends. Believe me, there's nothing to be afraid of.
Anyway. From there, we cut to a short scene of the snake at a church. Like, I wasn't sure why they put a church there.
Churchy snake.
Like, the monks were at a monastery, but this wasn't the monastery that the monks were at, and I don't recall Dawn or...
I think you might be confusing the external shot of the hospital that Buffy is at.
No, because they show an external shot of a church, and then the next shot, you see a statue on the wall of Jesus on the cross, and the camera pans down, and the fucking snake is there. And I'm like, why?
I must have glazed right over that because that's about how relevant it is to the episode.
It makes no sense.
Or it'll come back around later somehow, maybe.
Maybe.
Who knows? Whatever. So back at a hospital or the hospital that Joyce is at, I'm not sure.
Yep.
Buffy gets on the phone and she checks in with Giles over the beep, beep, bip, bip machine. And also, she's like, hey, by the way, there's a really big old snaky boy out there.
Not as big as the mayor, but
not
big.
As big as the mayor. But that's when the Snek joke should have started.
Right.
Missed opportunity. Snaky.
A whole 2 seasons ago.
Woof. All right. But pretty big. Approximately as big as Snek Boy.
Yeah.
Snek. And he's out there. Sneky Boy's out there, and he just needs a big old hug. And if you could continue lying to Dawn for me when she gets there, that'd be great.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
I get that they go the angle of it's Joyce's place to tell Dawn.
Kinda.
But for fuck's sake, you're gonna let her just wallow in her worry for an entire fucking day?
Yeah, that's rude. That's mean, and it's condescending.
Yeah.
She's 15. She's old enough to handle it.
Yeah.
So, cut to a depression montage.
Yes, one depression montage with a sad piano.
Coming right up. That makes me a sad panda snack.
Buffy waits at the hospital. Riley's off at Willie's drinking. Dawn is doing homework at the magic box.
But it's depressing. Very depressing homework.
It's homework.
Yeah. Right? Yeah. I mean, shit. Did you hear that music? Fuck, that's depressing music.
Yeah. But the whole montage ends with Riley getting bitten by a vampire, which, by the way, this vampire, who was the female vampire who was in the previous episode that Riley was talking to.
Yes.
One of our fans pointed out on our Facebook group that this vampire was one of the women that evil vampire Willow bit at the Bronze.
Yes.
And so this is them bringing an actor back. And that is just fucking brilliant.
That is some glorious continuity.
I love it.
It's lovely.
We get to see her birth of as a vampire and her death as a vampire.
Yeah.
It's the circle of life. Or unlife.
Death. Undeadness. It's the circle of lycanthropy.
Those are werewolves.
Oh.
It's the circle of evil.
Evil? She's crossed the crosswalk with all the helpless little ladies with too many parcels and taken that long walk down the little garden path. At the end of which is more evil.
More evil.
So it's funny that just last episode we were all like, man, he should have like taken her home and like pretended to make out with her and then staked her all.
And so he did. See? Proof that characters in a TV show 20 years ago can listen to us.
All Sneky-like. That's what I was like. He's a snake. That characters can what now?
The characters listen to us.
Oh, yeah.
They're 20 years in the past, and it's, been recorded and existed, but they're listening to us. They hear us.
Yeah, let's go with that. That's more interesting than my theory, which was that our subconscious memories of this episode of the scene were kicking in.
Possible.
I definitely remember that
but
now.
That's no fun.
No, it's really not. We've never seen this show before at all. Cut back to the magic box.
Yes,
and
at night.
And outside of the magic box just before.
Yes.
Where Sneky Boy goes for a little slither past the carousel and gets a little more demony than he was before. He must be feeding off of all of them old sappy memories of Dawn. Oh shit, she's the key. Oh no. Oh my god. That was exactly the process of my thoughts as that scene happened. I was like, what are the odds that he'd go to the carousel like that? Oh no. Dawn had a heightened emotional moment there.
Which is why I'm curious as to why he went to the church.
Yeah, that makes me wonder if there was a scene cut out where Dawn was at the church or something. That seems like that would have made more sense.
Buffy arrives to the magic box, and she tells Dawn that Mom is awake, and they're going to head to the hospital, and just then a snake busts in.
Yeah, true to Scooby form, just as Buffy is asking Willow and Giles about any snake sightings, Snacky Boy uses Dawn's scent to track her to the magic shop. He does a quick Kool-Aid cosplay, and as one might suspect, his mere presence scares the shit out of Dawn, who stands there and screams, petrified with fear, but then the snake turns around and fucks off.
He throws a shelf at Buffy, and then Dawn screams. It's a very good scream. I kind of want to know if it was actually Michelle Trachtenberg's scream or not. Because the scream in the episode with the gentleman, the scream at the end of that episode is not actually Sarah Michelle Gellar. So I'm very kind of curious if this is Michelle Trachtenberg's scream. Because it's a good scream.
It sold well enough for me. I don't see any reason to suspect that it wasn't. But then again, I grew up thinking that the singing voice of Aladdin was the same as the talking voice of Aladdin. And here we are.
Yeah.
Because it was obviously Robin Williams singing for the genie, but he was a massive exception for Disney.
Yeah.
Always different singing voices.
God, I wish that was a trend they continued. I'm fucking sick of them casting people in singing roles, and then the actors they cast for the role, but then they don't think, oh, can this person sing? And they can't fucking sing. Which is why the fucking live action movie of the Phantom of the Opera sucks. It's one of my favorite fucking musicals, and the movie sucks because you know what Gerard Butler can't do? Fucking sing opera.
Oh, we're going to get some hate mail for this, but I have the exact same complaint over Sweeney Todd.
Oh, God, yes.
The one with Johnny Depp.
Johnny Depp cannot fucking sing.
Not to save his life. I haven't even seen it. I've only heard descriptions of it, and I'm such a big fan of the original Broadway recording that I don't want to ruin it for myself.
Yeah, there's nothing fucking wrong with dubbing someone else's singing voice over your actor. Nothing fucking wrong. It makes for an excellent fucking movie. You get the best of both fucking worlds.
Yeah. You know what else there's nothing wrong with?
What?
Casting somebody that's not Johnny Depp.
Right.
I've seen enough Johnny Depp. I don't need to see him as Sweeney Todd. He's not Sweeney Todd material. He just isn't.
All his characters are the fucking same now. It's fucking awful.
So go ahead and send us all the hate mail.
Yeah, that's fine.
And I will send you a snake in return.
Not actually. We're not mailing snakes to anyone.
Well, that's a good giveaway idea, though. I'm keeping that one in the box, in the mystery box. You never know.
Oh, God.
Not a live snake, though. I still feel really guilty about that one live snake that I accidentally murdered in a car. Because it was in my golf bag, and I left it in a hot car, and I didn't know that it was in there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Poor Snaky.
Poor little guy.
I know.
Anyway, the snake fucks off, and Buffy immediately guesses, oh shit, it knows that Dawn's the key. She mentions that to Giles, but the rest of the Scoobs are notably confused that why did the giant scary snake monster run away from Dawn? But the chase begins!
Yeah, because Buffy correctly supposes and relays to Giles that it must know about Dawn. Therefore, they pursue. Snacky Boy is terrorizing the general public as it slithers haphazardly down the street.
Not very fucking sneaky, if you ask me.
It is
out in the fucking open.
Not a particularly sneaky snake.
No, it's fucking everywhere and like scaring people.
And so we get this big chase sequence. It's pretty neat.
Yeah.
Giles catches up to Buffy with his car. I like that they involved Giles in on this, and they gave his shiny convertible a little bit of purpose.
Yep.
It's the Giles Batmobile. It's kind of fun. It's the Gatmobile? The Jatmobile. The Guffy-mobile.
No.
It's
Giles's car.
Okay, fine.
Cut back to the manor where Gloria is. She has a bit of a tantrum at, what the fuck was his name?
Dreg.
Because the snake isn't there yet.
He panics honorifically over Glory.
Yep, panics honorifically.
She's throwing a tantrum because she has absolutely no patience and thinks the spell isn't working.
Yep.
I'm like, damn, wait 5 minutes. Come on.
Right, you just set that thing off.
Exactly.
Anyway, chase continues, and they end up going through like some sort of park area.
I thought they were in a cemetery, but it probably was more of a park. I mean, what is a cemetery if not just a park with dead bodies?
Yes.
Right? Am I right? Can I get an amen? No, really, we need one because we're talking about dead people. You gotta cover your bases.
Whoa.
Pascal's wager.
That's as close as I get to an amen.
That's that's the best prayer I can think of.
Anyway, Buffy catches up to the snake and grabs a chain and jumps onto its back and chokes it out.
She sure does.
But it doesn't kill the snake. She doesn't hold the choke long enough. Like, you gotta, as soon as they stop moving, you keep choking.
Yeah.
Because, like,
it fakes her out.
Yeah.
But to be fair, it probably wasn't trying to fake her out. It just wasn't quite dead yet. And it was like,
right.
Oh, air, I can move again.
It throws her off. Oh my, Josh. Like, holy shit. She jumps on it and she just punches it for like the rest of the night. Like, you know what? This is her plan for the next 4 hours.
Yeah. They pulled out the sound effects in the Foley room of her punching wet, rotten vegetables. And she just goes to town for a while.
This is I actually paused it and I'm like, holy shit, Jesus fucking Christ.
I was like, no, my poor baby Sneki, no.
She's just punching it and there's like goop on her hand.
No Step On Snek.
It's like, obviously it's not showing any of the gruesomeness, but it's about as gruesome as a fucking show like this can get.
It's kind of brutal, except for that one part where you can see her punching it and you can tell that it's about as realistic as that scene where William Shatner fights the lizard man.
Yeah, I do wish they had not had that angle in. I think it would have played a lot better.
Yeah.
But if you ever want to know where your overusage of irregardless will get us, this is where it will get us. Just, I'll keep punching.
Yeah, it'll it doesn't improve the quality of anything.
No.
But it makes me feel better.
Yeah. Okay. I can't really fault you on that. I mean, in this day and age, what the fuck else do we have?
I gotta cling on to whatever I can cling on to, man.
But yeah, she just beats it to death.
Yep. Snakey goes squish squish. Snakey does not have din din.
No, it does not.
Snakey boy is not okay.
It kind of does. It kind of has din din. A knuckle fucking sandwich.
Oh! Oh! Oh. Snake.
And then this is when we find out that Glory is in a big mansion because it's right over their fucking shoulder, and the snake was almost to Glory.
Almost, but not quite. Do you think Glory saw Buffy beating the shit out of it?
No, I think she goes on thinking that the spell did not work.
I think so as well.
Because if she saw Buffy beating the shit out of the snake, she'd have fucking gone down there and beat the shit out of
There'd have been
Buffy.
an extra fight, absolutely. Yeah. So, cut to the hospital for some wrap-up.
Where we have Joyce and Buffy in the hospital room, and Joyce is like, oh, I want to tell Dawn alone, just her and I. Which I totally fucking understand that sentiment. And that's good, but for fuck's sake, you left your fucking young daughter in the dark all goddamn day.
Yeah, not okay.
Not okay.
So Buffy steps out into the hall to find Riley, who attempts to comfort her. She does not take him up on his offer to let it all out while hugging him because she wouldn't be able to stop and her family still needs her. And Riley's clearly a little hurt by this.
Yep.
And Buffy goes back into the hospital room at Joyce's beckon.
Yep.
Leaving Riley outside to feel sorry for himself and make it all about him, all up in his head.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Gerarg.
Is this for me? I must be ready. I need my strength. Give me more! Nights I shall walk the earth. Hold on.
You've got something in your eye.
So about Riley in this scene, this is the moment where I'm like, okay, I get the Riley hate. I fucking get it totally.
Yeah.
Because this exact moment, I've fucking been here.
She's not emotionally codependent enough on me.
I've been here in a relationship where, for fuck's sake, she is in the position in the family right now where she needs to be the strong one. She needs to be the strong one for all the reasons that is very evident to Riley, and then several more on top of that Riley doesn't even know about.
Mm-hmm.
She's the fucking slayer, savior of the goddamn world, and her mother is dying. Maybe you should just let her fucking figure out how to cope and not be like, but you need to rely on me.
Yeah. How about you let her work that out in her own good and goddamn ready time?
Like, okay, I get that you are feeling a little insecure about your relationship, but for fuck's sake, when your partner is going through something this direly emotional, what the fuck is your fucking problem?
And on top of not being that far out from having found out that her little sister is not her little sister, but is in fact this great supernatural force that needs to be protected because super high stakes and stuff.
For fuck's sake, Buffy's handling the whole situation impressively well.
Yeah.
Mind you. But like the idea that when you're partners with someone, they have to rely on you for emotional support is first off bullshit. And, you know, that's a heteronormative thing that I have plenty of issues with.
Yeah.
But the whole thing with Riley in this, like you said, he makes it about himself. He's like, oh, I want you to rely on me. This is like when you have someone in your life who messages you and is like, oh, I miss you. And then leaves it there. And it's like, okay, are you going to do anything about you missing me? Are you going to call me up and make plans to come see me? No? Then you missing me is not my problem.
Yeah, it sounds like a you problem.
And this is exactly that.
Which,
it, like,
unfortunately, has been stigmatized. We only up until recently have I thought of it that way. We're conditioned to believe that it is our problem and we should feel guilty if somebody says that they miss us, and we should take it upon ourselves to bestow this kindness upon them of our company to make them stop feeling that way, instead of letting them take responsibility and action for their own emotions.
Yeah. And, you know, we do end up talking a lot about toxic masculinity on the show, but I think this particular scene paints the situation in a light that we don't actually get very often, because this is toxic masculinity in a different way. Because A, Riley cannot get any emotional support because he feels he has to get his emotional support from Buffy. She can't give him emotional support for his insecurities right now because she's dealing with shit.
Mm-hmm.
So he's just fucking wallowing in his insecurities when he could go to Xander, who's a friend, who's willing to talk to him, but he won't, because that's not the thing that he should do. You're supposed to rely on your partner to be all of your emotional support.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, it's also toxic masculinity in that Buffy is not leaning on him for emotional support because she, in this situation, can't. She needs to be the strong one for herself, and how she's going to handle it and carry the weight. And so he also feels put out because she won't rely on him. Like, it's fucking layers of bullshit here. And yeah, I am officially, as of this moment, completely 100% on the fuck Riley train.
And the Go Spike train.
No, I'm not on that train yet.
Not yet. I know. I'm getting ahead of myself there. He's still being a creepy asshole.
Yeah, the whole fucking... I'm really kind of bothered by this season as far as love interests go.
Right.
Because I'm not feeling Riley and Buffy, and I'm really not feeling Spike and Buffy, because Spike is, like, just as fucking dangerous and toxic as Riley is.
He's not handling anything particularly more maturely than Riley. He's just being more entertaining.
Yeah, he is being more entertaining at the very least. But the episode wasn't necessarily meant to be about this, but to me, that's, they left it on that note, and
Sure.
that's where it hits for me.
I think we could have gotten a couple more points in favor of the Bechdel test if this season had been more geared towards how Glory is evil and why she's evil and how it is in any way an allegory to the pain of Buffy in being in the process of losing her mother and having to take this extra responsibility of caring for her sister. They could have focused more on that instead of all these goddamn fucking love interests, and it would have been far more feminist for that.
Yeah.
But they didn't. And so I'm just racking through in my head. Did we get any good character progression, plot progression? What made this episode worthwhile, and did you like it?
I think we got a decent amount of plot progression in that they found out something about Glory. They have a fucking name, for fuck's sake.
Hey, that's something.
Giles knows what she fucking looks like now.
Right? Well, they all kind of know what she looks like now.
And so they got some information there. We got a little bit more about how Glory's operating, which is to say a bag of fucking cats chaotic. But, and, things, the tensions ratcheting up with Riley. Yeah, I don't know if this was worth it.
Things are progressing poorly with Joyce. But the relationship between Buffy and Dawn is becoming a magnitude stronger each episode. It seems like Buffy held herself back from berating Dawn in any way at the very beginning of the episode, and then there was zero evidence of it even coming up again throughout the episode.
I found certain aspects of the episode entertaining, but I don't think it was a particularly great episode. And I think it could have done a lot better if you take the bullshit of Riley out of the episode and you replace the scenes with Dawn and Riley to be Buffy and Dawn. And you have more of a heart-to-heart sister dynamic for those scenes rather than what we got. Yeah. And I think that would have done the episode and the season a much greater service. Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
That being said, it is what it is. There were a lot of good quotes.
It was a good witty episode.
We did still get some good character progression and a lot of fun moments from our, formerly front and center characters, Xander, Willow, Anya, who are taking a back seat and doing it like champs, letting Riley and Dawn take the spotlight for a bit and get some of their character progression a little more fleshed out, even though Riley's going to be gone super quick. I'm not sure how quick, but super quick.
And don't tell us how quick, please.
Yeah. No spoilers. We spoil things for you, not vice versa.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. It was an all right episode, but it could have been way better.
It was better than indifferent.
There you go.
I don't want to be indifferent about it. I thought it was a good episode, but it wasn't great.
There we go.
And what's your quote of the day, Rex?
I wanted to go with a different quote, but I have to go with the first one.
Damn it! I was going to go with the first one. Go on.
I have to, because it's the most quintessential Giles quote that we've had yet. It's the best Giles-Xander interaction that perfectly encapsulates their relationship.
You're not wrong.
That is, am I right, Giles? I'm almost certain that you're not, but to be fair, I wasn't listening.
Yep, there it is.
Also, this is something that we have said to each other, I swear.
Oh, at some point in time. I know I've said it to someone. It used to totally be a thing between us at the coffee shop. You'd start talking and I would just randomly interject, "That's very interesting," and turn around and walk away.
Yeah.
That was the whole thing. It was basically that. And it's hilarious.
Mostly. So what's your quote of the day?
I got to go with the other fantastic Giles quote. Anya says, "Are you stupid or something?" Yeah. Allow me to answer that question with a firing. There it is. Too good.
Excellent.
Too good to pass up.
Excellent.
Well, there it is. I think it's your closing, Rex.
Yeah. Don't forget to like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, join our Facebook group where we have fans who post all sorts of fun little tidbits, like finding out that this extra who's playing the vampire in this, we had seen before. That was a fun little fact. If you'd like to support our show, the number one way that you can do that is to give us a review on iTunes or any of your podcast listening apps of choice. And remember, if you do give us a review and you send us proof of said review, we will send you a sticker. No joke, one free sticker.
Totally free.
If you would like to support us financially, you can do so at patreon.com/beerwithbuffy. You could also go to beerwithbuffy.com/shop and look at our merch and purchase some of that merch. If you'd like to get in touch with us to send us information, you can do so on Facebook and Twitter, or you can email us at beerwithbuffy@gmail.com, or send us a voicemail or text message at
269-743-0783.
As always, thank you very much to JJ Treadway for our transition music. This has been Beer with Buffy. I'm Rex.
I'm Josh.
Have a good night.
No Step On Snek.
I make allowances for your years, but I expect a certain amount of responsibility, and instead of which you enslave yourself to this cult.
You don't like the color?
You have a sacred birthright. You were chosen to destroy vampires, not to wave pom-poms at people.
Why can't you people just leave me alone?
You are the Slayer.
Go ahead.
I'm a watcher. I haven't the skill.
Oh, come on.
By appealing to your common sense. Common sense. Werewolves, incubi, succubi, everything you've ever dreaded was under your bed, but told yourself couldn't be by the light of day. One gal in all the world. Common sense. One gal in all the world. It was a bit, British, wasn't it?
Whee! Wait, what have we done? Why are we watching this?